Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Lex's Budget Bunker Build. So thank you for joining me for this episode. Now I've got a small confession to make. I jumped straight into the work and didn't do the intro, and so I'm doing the intro now posthumously, as it were. So yeah, the work's done, and the footage for that is all tucked away on the camera there, and I thought I'd better do a quick intro. So enjoy the footage, guys, and I think I did quite well this week, and I think you'll agree when you see the footage, and I'll see you at the end. Well friends, I thought I'd do a little quick sort of almost impromptu tool review. So I just purchased myself this. It's a automatic centre punch. So I used to have one of these many years ago, and it broke, and I never bothered to replace it, and I'd forgotten how useful they were. But I was watching a video. I follow a guy called his channel's called Dies in Every Film, and he's like a machinist, toolmaker type guy. His channel is making a lot of historical weapons, sort of like reproductions, and the weapons, to be honest, weren't really my thing. I mean, some of them quite interesting, but just watching his methodology, you know, incredibly talented guy, and just watching somebody that's using all those processes in a machine shop. For somebody like myself, I learn a lot. And he recently did a video where he was talking about his 10 most useful tools, and one of them was the automatic centre punch, and which reminded me that I used to have one and no longer have one, so I bought one. So here we are. It's 125 millimeters, guaranteed forever apparently, made by a company called Fuller. So it says, yeah, I say made by a company called Fuller. It actually says on the back here, manufactured to our precise design and quality standards. And so although it doesn't say this anywhere on the packaging, the way you interpret that is it's made in China. Okay, which pretty much everything's made in China. The thing is, though, with things made in China, and I mean, they get a lot of bad press. You know, some of it's deserved, but a lot of companies get their stuff made in China, and when they do, they get the option of the level of quality they want them manufactured to, and a lot of companies opt for the cheapest. And you know, the Chinese manufacturers, they oblige, and they make things very cheap and consequently low quality. But they're quite capable of making very high quality products. And you know, a lot of the major brands, all this stuff's, well, look at Apple. Yeah, it's all made in China, but it's made to high standards, which of course costs more. And if you're willing to pay for that cost, then it's not a problem. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, I haven't used one of these for many years. And the guy on the Dies in Every Film, he tended to do it a couple of times in each hole. No, actually I don't suppose. Yeah, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but you know, it's made quite a nice little centre punch there, and of course that's ready to drill some holes. Feels good, guys. I mean, I guess the real test is after I've done 10,000 strokes with the thing, but tip seems to be holding up. Quite a smooth action, nice and easy to use. Probably the only thing I probably don't like about it is this top. I mean, so you don't, obviously you're not hitting it, you're only pushing it. I just feel like the plastic on this is a bit, I don't know, yeah, it's quite, I feel like the plastic looks quite low quality. I feel like they could have, I don't know, just, you know, the moulding on that, I feel like they could have maybe done a bit better with that. I mean, ideally would be like a turned aluminium top on it, but then again, it's going to add more cost. I can't remember now what this cost, to be honest, which makes for a pretty shit tool review, doesn't it? It wasn't super expensive though, and yeah, it's certainly a lot easier than me holding a punch and hitting it and then not quite hitting it right and damaging my hands. So yeah, automatic centre punch, guys. I thought I'd try and explain what I'm doing here. So these are the steel channels for the ceiling, and they're going to be bolted together on these faces. So this is the top basically, and they're all going to be bolted together, and I can't drill them, like it's not like I can clamp these together and then drill them to make sure the holes are lined, because I can't get the drill inside the channel. And my measuring measuring's let me down many a time. You know, if I was a real engineer, I could probably just measure where I want on each beam and drill them with confidence, and they'd all line up. But I know that won't be the case. So what I've done, I've made up this little, basically like a little jig. So this piece of flat bar, it's aluminium. This is a piece of recycling I got out of the a bit of rubbish I got out of the skip bin. So I knew it'd be useful. Now it's useful. So what I've done, I've marked out where I want my holes to go, and I've drilled little tiny little holes, pilot holes, so I can just put the centre punch in there and mark these holes. And I've done it I've done this in a way. You can see here I've got written on here. I've got bottom, so I know what side it's, you know, where it's got to go as far as the bottom of the beam, and then this side visible when drilling back. Okay, so this beam here I've got is actually the front beam, so it doesn't need holes in this front part of the channel, because that'll be up against the bunker shaft entrance. But this first one will be, you know, this channel will then bolt onto the next channel. So so this is basically the back. So you can imagine, so I'll put an F for front on each one, and so that'll be the front face and the back face. So when I'm drilling the back face, this side visible drilling back, and when I flip this over, I've got written on the other side, this side visible and drilling front. So that way, because if I'm not careful, these will be in different positions. So that way they should all line up. Oh, we'll see, I guess, when I go to bolt it together. But that's my cunning plan. And because this thing will be useful, because as I add more of these beams, it'll be consistent. I'll keep this as a tool, I'll keep this aside, and if it all goes to plan, the holes should match up perfectly. And so yeah, so I've made sure this end here is flush, and then I've used the square to make sure this is right up against the edge, clamped it in place. So now when I take this away, I've got my center punches there. Hard to see actually. I better highlight those so I don't lose the sight of them. Okay, just put a little circle around each one. So those are little holes there, and then when I do so when I do the next one, and I'm doing the front edge, then I'll have it round that way, on like that. In theory, it should all line up. Why do I feel so nervous about this? Anyway, what I'll do is I'll drill these holes, and then I'll drill another set, the front holes in another beam, and I'll just give her a test run, make sure she lines up before I do them all, because if I do them all and none of them line up, I'm going to be absolutely gutted. At least if I drill a few of them, it's not too much time down the hole. I'm rambling, I'll carry on. Well guys, you can share in my triumph or failure. So I've drilled the first set of holes using this template system, and see if they line up. This one lines up. Ooh, let me just slightly crooked. Oh, you're a winner. I'm as surprised as anybody. So if I can just rinse and repeat that on the others, I'm onto something. Not perfectly. You can see these holes aren't perfectly parallel, but these are high tensile bolts. Tighten these up and they'll pull together nicely. Beautiful. Alright, just a few more hours of drilling to go. Right, it's the moment of truth. See if these all these holes line up. Oh. Well, looks like my cunning plan worked. Can't believe it, to be honest. Oh, that's great. That little template idea worked out really well. So now I can keep this, and as I keep adding to it, just use this and all these holes will line up. Got to say, I'm feeling a little bit pleased with myself, to be honest. Oh, that's good. Alright, so next job's to get them down in the bunker. Okay, friends, so that's a wrap for this one. As you see, I got quite a bit done. I'm really quite pleased with how this has turned out. So so I've got 4 pieces in so far. Now I decided not to go right to the end, because when I do the next section, what I want to do, you can see I've sort of left for a bit of an overlap. So the next piece will go in there, so the join isn't over the brick join. And then, you know, I want to sort of put in a couple of spans, and then chuck the concrete on top so I can get to it. Because if I make this too deep at once, I won't be able to get the concrete properly up into the back. So now the concrete is there to fill the void. That's its purpose. It's not really there for strength, but I mean, it'll add to the strength. And you probably noticed I chucked a couple of lengths of rebar in there. And I thought, well, just why not? You know, I mean, I may as well just chuck it. It's cheap enough. So I chuck a few lengths of rebar in there, but it's not really about strength with the concrete. It's the strength, because that water pump always kicks in, doesn't it, when I'm talking? Yeah, the strength is in these beams, and the concrete is just to fill that void and stop it all starting to collapse down, because that's when you have problems, when there's a void and then it starts giving way, and then the stuff above that gives way, and because it builds up, you've got all this loose material which gets heavier and heavier. Now, you know, I've been doing a bit of reading up on mining and stuff like that. I mean, with clay, to be honest, it's not such a problem, because it's not a very big span, and if it did fall down, it's not like rock where you got this solid great rock lumps. You know, it's kind of, what's the word for it? Well, it's malleable, so it's going to be the force is going to be going down the sides as well as not straight down, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm very happy with that. That's as solid as. So I don't know if I didn't bring the bucket down here, but if I can sort of take my camera up there and you sort of have a look up there. So I sort of got rid of most of that void, and I'll keep, as I say, keep filling that up as I go, and get rid of any void there. And if there's any void that I can't quite get with the concrete, then I'll probably use the expanding foam. But I don't think that's going to be necessary, to be honest. So this section I'm calling basically for now finished. When the next project will be the bunker shaft. So I want to take that down a bit more, so I can put in some more lengths of this, the elevator tracking. So I want to put in another 2 meters. So it'll go, so it's roughly about 1 meter down to the end, and it'll go 1 meter below that, and that'll allow the whole elevator body to come down so that it comes level with the floor. And then I'll be able to take the elevator right down and just step off it like this. That'll be great when that's done. So that's going to be a big job, to be honest. Partly because it's filling up with water constantly, so that's not going to be fun. Now when I do that, I'm going to be putting a lot of rebar in there and welding it, and when I do that, and I've got the welder down here, then I'll be welding these up along here, welding these edges up here. This is going to need a little bit of packing, but I'll be welding all this up as well onto these ridges, and so the reasoning for that is that then secures these, because this is fixed to the wall, right? And at the moment, you know, in the worst case scenario, I mean, there's so much rebar and concrete in there, I honestly don't think that would ever happen. But you know, conceivably, if you had enough force behind this, you could push this over, right? But if I weld these up all the way along, it'd be like, you know, it's going to be 1 meter long in a meter. The tunnel will be this part of the tunnel will be 1 meter long when it's finished with this roof, and these will all be welded. So that will brace this wall. So you got you know, it's stopping the load coming down, and it'll stop it coming in sideways. And of course, again, that's what these bits of angle were for. And then when I get to the end of this, I'm going to put another steel frame around, and it'll be steel from then on, and that steel will have, again, the end of the blocks, I'll frame them in with some angle. So I might even put a channel on the floor Although, I mean, the floor is so much rebar coming up out of the concrete, it's probably not necessary. But she's going to be strong, man. She's going to be really strong. So, which I'm happy with, because I mean, right now I'm standing under 5 meters of clay. So I don't want that coming on my head. And actually, when I get a bit deeper, it'll be more like 7 meters. Because there's another, when I go in, once I'm in about a meter, anything past that, it'll be behind the retaining wall. So it'll be another 2 meters above that. So yeah, I'm rambling on like crazy as always. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this episode. As I say, I'm really happy with what I've got done. I feel it's a good milestone, and now I can get stuck into that shaft, which I've been sort of looking forward to doing, but also dreading at the same time, because I know it's going to be a messy, awkward job, you know, confined space and all the best of it. But at least now I've got this as a bit of a staging area where I can stack stuff and tools and dirt and stuff like that. So getting this bit of side tunnel done is going to actually make this job a lot easier, for sure, because I can put the welder there and it's not going to get wet and so on. So anyway, I think this will be the next few weeks, to be honest. I honestly think this is going to take, you know, because what I plan to do, line it all with concrete and go down probably another meter, so it'll be another 2 meters down. It's going to take probably a couple of months, to be honest. So we'll see. Anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreons and YouTube members for your support. Really appreciate that. And also the super thanks and everybody that's liked and subscribed. Really appreciate that. And look after yourselves out there, guys. Take care, and we look forward to catching up next week. And this is Lex out.